it actually started when I was in the hospital. I had a stroke. I remember sitting that first night being like, everybody was so amazing and I was scared and thinking like this is something I need to raise money for. And that's was the first thought of it. And then over the years, I do lots of different activities, triathlons and running and cycling. So there wasn't any event that, really piqued my interest to do until during, I started cycling and learning the gravel like roads and that during COVID when I was trying to like rehab. So that's where I started learning all these old trails again and eventually I was like, I made a route. This is perfect. This could be a race.
A large misconception for the general public that strokes only affect seniors. A case in point would be just last week or the week before, I was searching stock footage online database, type in stroke, it's all seniors that come up. You don't see any young people. How do you change that perception for stroke?
Yeah, because it happens more and more now, where it's a blood clot that kind of starts it, right? So it's not necessarily just in seniors. I believe I saw something in the news about it might have been an athlete that was fairly young. Bruce Willis obviously is at the front of everybody in aphasia currently in stroke as he's battling fairly visual. Yeah, it's out there. If you get past the first couple Google searches, you find the rest of it and realize that it's a problem for any age. I think it's also important that probably everybody knows somebody that's had a stroke, whether it is elderly or not. So it's in everybody's lives.
And how does it affect, I guess if you wanted to share your personal story, how has it affected you?
I think I mostly came out okay. I mean, physically, sometimes you have to do rehab, whereas I actually ran on the treadmill when I was still at the hospital. So I was.
The doctors probably didn't like that?
The nurses definitely, they flew in because my heart rate went up and yeah, it was. There's a lot more to the funny story of that.
So let's tie that into a more serious point is how important is physical activity for your rehabilitation?
I think at first my balance wasn't as good as I thought. I don't think some of the easy little tests they have show how well your balance was. So that because I do a lot of different sports that involve balance, I felt like I was okay until I started mountain biking. I was like, no, my balance is not great. So mountain biking has certainly helped. But yeah, for me, it wasn't as much physical as it was the aphasia with my speech.
And for those that don't know, what is aphasia?
Aphasia is, I don't even know the technical,
That's okay.
but essentially, it's word finding.
Okay.
In your conversation, and everybody has that where almost every day someone's like, "Ooh, what's that word?" or that. Usually, someone with aphasia is having that in almost every conversation they're having, whether people realize or not. You just quickly say a different word or whatever, right? To just in the moment, you're just not grabbing that word that you normally would have.
Have you found that there's a community that has rallied around you? Do you have other stroke survivors that have reached out to you? No, if not, that's okay.
No, not much. I know the Heart and Stroke has a wide organization, right? And I think I've looked at it before for like a volunteer base of that, but it's locally was where I wanted to put my energy. Just the staff that I had, the speak therapy, the local doctors. Without them, I don't think I would have ended up being as good as I ended up. But so that's where my energy of the volunteering stayed.
And to put a bow on it, how much would it mean for a massive amount of support, massive amount of registration for this race on September 7th?
Well, right now, the way our sponsorship package works is per participant, that amount, like a fixed number, goes to the hospital foundation. So if we end up getting 150 participants, I think we're gonna give somewhere in the realm of $5,000. But if we double it, so does the donation. So let's get people out on bikes.